Imagine standing amidst the ashes of everything you've ever built. The flames have died, but the heat lingers, a searing reminder of what's gone. What happens next? Do you crumble, defeated, or do you rise, stronger than before? History whispers a truth we often ignore: loss is not the end. It's the beginning of something extraordinary. Consider the phoenix, the mythical bird that burns to ash only to emerge renewed. It's not just a story. It's a metaphor for the human spirit. Time and again, we've seen individuals, communities, even entire civilizations face devastation only to rebuild with a ferocity that defies logic. But how? What is it about loss that ignites such unstoppable renewal? Think of the artist who loses their sight but discovers a new depth in their craft. The entrepreneur whose empire collapses, only to rise again with a sharper vision. The city reduced to rubble, yet reborn with a resilience that inspires generations. These are not anomalies. They are proof of a paradox: destruction often precedes creation. So, what does it take to transform loss into rebirth? Is it courage? Ingenuity? Or something deeper, something primal within us all? This is the story of the Phoenix Paradox, a journey through the darkest moments of human experience, and the astonishing power of renewal that follows. Are you ready to witness how the unthinkable becomes the unstoppable? What if loss wasn't the end, but the beginning? What if the very thing that shatters us also holds the key to our rebirth? This is the Phoenix Paradox, a phenomenon as ancient as mythology itself, yet as relevant as the struggles we face today. The phoenix, a creature consumed by fire, doesn't perish in the flames. It rises, renewed, stronger, and more radiant than before. So too can we emerge from the ashes of our own losses, transformed in ways we never imagined. But how? What is it about loss that sparks such profound renewal? It's not just about survival, it's about reinvention. Loss strips away the familiar, leaving us bare, vulnerable, and raw. Yet in that emptiness, we find the space to rebuild, to redefine who we are and what we're capable of. The Phoenix Paradox isn't a myth, it's a call to action, a reminder that devastation can be the birthplace of greatness. Think about it: when everything falls apart, what's left? You are. And that's where the magic begins. Loss doesn't just destroy, it clears the ground, forcing us to confront what truly matters. It's a crucible, a test of resilience, and a gateway to transformation. But here's the catch: renewal doesn't happen passively. It demands courage, introspection, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. The Phoenix Paradox isn't about avoiding pain, it's about harnessing it, using it as fuel to rise higher than ever before. So, ask yourself, when the fire comes, will you let it consume you? Or will you let it ignite something extraordinary within you? The choice is yours, and the possibilities are infinite. The phoenix, a creature of myth and flame, rises from its ashes, a symbol so potent it has echoed across millennia. But why does this tale of destruction and rebirth captivate us so deeply? Is it the promise of renewal, the defiance of despair, or the sheer audacity of life rising from death? Let's journey back to ancient Egypt, where the phoenix first emerged as the Bennu bird, a sacred heron-like creature linked to the sun god Ra. Here, the Bennu symbolized the cyclical nature of life, death, and resurrection, mirroring the Nile's annual flooding that brought both destruction and fertile renewal. Could it be that humanity's earliest civilizations understood something profound about loss, that it wasn't an end, but a beginning? Across the Mediterranean, the Greeks adopted the phoenix, weaving it into their own narratives of immortality and transformation. In their version, the phoenix lived for centuries before immolating itself, only to rise again, more radiant than before. This wasn't just a story, it was a metaphor for the human spirit. How else could a civilization that endured wars, plagues, and collapses still produce philosophers, artists, and architects whose work inspires us today? The phoenix wasn't just a myth, it was a lifeline, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, renewal is possible. But the phoenix isn't alone in history's tapestry of rebirth. Consider the Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD, a catastrophe that reduced much of the city to ash. Yet, from the ruins emerged a rebuilt Rome, grander and more organized than before. Nero's reign may have been infamous, but the city's rebirth was nothing short of miraculous. Was it not a testament to resilience, to the idea that loss could pave the way for progress? Or look to Japan's Edo period, where devastating fires regularly tore through wooden cities like Edo, modern-day Tokyo. Each time, the Japanese rebuilt, innovating fire-resistant architecture and urban planning. These weren't just acts of survival, they were acts of transformation. Isn't that the essence of the phoenix, not just enduring loss, but emerging stronger, wiser, and more resilient? Even in the natural world, wildfires, though destructive, clear the way for new growth, revitalizing ecosystems. Ancient cultures understood this balance instinctively. They saw loss not as a finality, but as a catalyst for renewal. So, as we stand here today, surrounded by stories of destruction and rebirth, we must ask, what can we learn from the phoenix? What can we learn from history's countless examples of rising from the ashes? The answer lies not in the past, but in our ability to carry its lessons forward, to embrace loss as the beginning of something greater. What happens when the ground beneath us crumbles? When the life we've built, the relationships we've cherished, or the dreams we've clung to are suddenly ripped away? Grief. It's a word that feels heavy, suffocating even. But what if grief isn't just the end of something? What if it's the beginning? What if it's the crucible where we're reforged, stronger, wiser, and more alive than ever before? This is the paradox of loss. It doesn't just break us, it reshapes us. It forces us to confront the rawest parts of ourselves, to stare into the abyss and ask, who am I now? And in that question lies the seed of renewal. Grief isn't a detour on the road of life, it's the road itself. It's the messy, painful, beautiful process of becoming who we're meant to be. But how does this transformation happen? What's the alchemy that turns pain into power? Let's dive deep into the psychological process of grief and its astonishing role in personal growth. The journey begins with denial, that first instinct to shield ourselves from the unbearable. It's the mind's way of saying, not yet. I'm not ready. But denial isn't weakness, it's survival. It gives us the space to breathe, to gather our strength for what comes next. And then comes anger, the fire that burns through the numbness. Anger is raw, unfiltered, and yes, uncomfortable. But it's also a signal that we care, that we're alive, that we're fighting to make sense of the senseless. Anger is the spark that ignites the next phase, bargaining. What if I had done this differently? What if I could turn back time? Bargaining is the mind's desperate attempt to regain control, to rewrite the story. But as that control slips away, we're left with the darkest part of grief, depression. This is where the weight of loss feels unbearable. But even here, in the depths of despair, there's movement. Depression isn't stagnation, it's the quiet, necessary process of letting go. And then, almost imperceptibly, acceptance begins to take root. Acceptance isn't about forgetting or moving on, it's about integrating the loss into our lives, about finding a way to carry it without being crushed by it. This is where growth happens. This is where we rise. Grief strips us bare, but in that vulnerability, we find resilience. It teaches us to embrace uncertainty, to find meaning in the broken pieces, and to rebuild ourselves from the ground up. Loss doesn't define us, it refines us. And in the ashes of what we've lost, we discover the phoenix within. What happens when a community is shattered? When the unthinkable strikes, a natural disaster, a devastating fire, or a horrific act of violence, it leaves scars that seem impossible to heal. But here's the paradox, it is in the ashes of destruction that the seeds of renewal are sown. Communities don't just rebuild, they rise stronger, more united, and more resilient than ever before. How do they do it? What invisible force drives them to not only survive but thrive? The answer lies in the collective spirit, the unbreakable bond that tragedy forges among strangers who become family. Think about it, when disaster strikes, what's the first thing people do? They reach out. Neighbors who once passed each other with a nod now share meals, shelter, and tears. The barriers of race, class, and ideology crumble in the face of shared grief and shared purpose. This is humanity at its rawest, its most authentic. But the story doesn't end there. The true magic happens in the aftermath. Communities don't just rebuild structures, they reimagine them. Streets that were once mere pathways become symbols of resilience. Homes aren't just reconstructed, they're redesigned to be safer, smarter, and more sustainable. Why? Because tragedy teaches lessons that prosperity never could. It forces us to confront our vulnerabilities and transform them into strengths. Take, for example, the towns ravaged by wildfires. They didn't just rebuild houses, they created fire breaks, planted fire-resistant vegetation, and established early warning systems. They turned fear into foresight. And what about the cities scarred by acts of violence? They didn't just erect memorials, they built community centers, launched outreach programs, and fostered dialogues that bridged divides. They turned pain into purpose. This is the essence of collective renewal, the ability to transform loss into legacy. But let's not romanticize it. The process is grueling, messy, and fraught with setbacks. There are moments of despair, of doubt, of frustration. Yet, it is precisely these struggles that make the triumph so profound. Because when a community rebuilds stronger, it's not just about bricks and mortar, it's about heart and soul. It's about proving that even in the face of unimaginable loss, the human spirit is indomitable. So, the next time you hear about a community rising from the ashes, ask yourself, what can we learn from their journey? How can their story inspire us to face our own challenges with courage and hope? Because the truth is, every act of collective renewal is a testament to the power of unity, the resilience of the human spirit, and the endless capacity for transformation. Imagine your brain as a city. When disaster strikes, a flood, an earthquake, a fire, the city doesn't crumble forever. It rebuilds. It adapts. Loss is the earthquake, and resilience is the blueprint for reconstruction. But how? What happens inside the brain when it faces devastation? The answer lies in neuroplasticity, the brain's extraordinary ability to rewire itself. It's not magic, it's science. And it's happening inside you, right now. When loss occurs, the brain doesn't shut down. Instead, it activates a survival mechanism, a symphony of neurons orchestrating a response. The amygdala, our emotional alarm system, flares up. Stress hormones surge. But here's the twist, this chaos is not the end. It's the beginning. The prefrontal cortex, the brain's command center, steps in. It assesses the damage, recalibrates priorities, and starts forging new pathways. Think of it as a bridge being built over a chasm, one neural connection at a time. But resilience isn't instant. It's a process. Studies show that after trauma, the brain undergoes structural changes. Gray matter in the hippocampus, the memory hub, may shrink. But over time, it regrows. Synapses strengthen. New connections form. The brain doesn't just recover, it evolves. It learns. It becomes more efficient, more adaptable. It's as if the brain says, I've been here before. I know how to survive. Resilience isn't just bouncing back. It's bouncing forward. What fuels this transformation? The answer lies in our biology. Neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin play a role, but so does oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Connection, whether with others or with ourselves, fuels resilience. The brain thrives on hope, on purpose, on meaning. It's not just about enduring loss. It's about finding a reason to rise again. So, when life knocks you down, remember this: your brain is wired for resilience. It's not a matter of if you'll recover, it's a matter of how. The Phoenix paradox isn't just a metaphor. It's a reality. From the ashes of loss, the brain rebuilds, stronger, smarter, and more resilient than ever. The question isn't whether you'll rise. It's when. Picture this: a small town nestled in the Appalachian Mountains, its heartbeat tied to the coal mines that stretch deep into the earth. For generations, the rhythm of life here was dictated by the rumble of machinery and the grit of miners. But then, the unthinkable happened. The mines closed. Overnight, the town's lifeline was severed. Families were left reeling, businesses shuttered, and hope seemed to vanish like smoke in the wind. How do you rebuild when the foundation of your existence crumbles? This is the story of Harlan, Kentucky, and its people who refused to let loss define them. They turned devastation into opportunity, despair into reinvention. And in doing so, they became a beacon of resilience.